What is up, everyone? I'm coming on here for a couple of plays for today, and we do it once again, you guys. On the top left of the screen, you see it. We cash another 4-man entry on my VIP. That is now 5 over the past 3 days. All right, so 5 9Xs, 10Xs over the past 3 days. I cannot overemphasize how important that is for the VIP, for the units, everything about that, guys. When I talk about, cashing a 9.25x, what that means is we instantly go up 8.25 units because of this entry. You can also think about that as you could have 8 losses in a row. You could literally just, through your PrizePicks account, just boom, 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 8 in a row. And this entry right here would pay for all of them, and you would actually go up just a little bit. You'd go up 0.25 units because of just one entry alone. Now, with that being said, we cash this one here. We also have this setup going into tonight, or going into, like 4 a.m. or whatever. And then also we cash right here, guys, on the channel. So whether you're in the VIP, whether you're on the channel, we did cash yesterday once again, and with Brook Lopez we took his over, with Scotty Barnes we took his over. Amazing call right here on this channel, so I hope everyone tailed this, guys. With Brook Lopez, he had 5 made 3-pointers. All right, I believe he shot the ball 11 times from the 3-point range. So not only does he get 21 points and pretty much doubles his line, exactly what I said would happen did happen. All right, so I'm not bragging or anything, but I do want to say when I make the right call, I do just want to throw it out there that it was a very, very, very good call. And NBA, we actually don't have any NBA on Saturday, but I've said this, and I mean it, that I feel like we're really honing in on the NBA recently, at least with my research. And, it's not like everything is hit together, because we've had a lot of 1-and-1s, like a lot of 1 win, 1 miss on 2-mans. But I feel like we're really honing in the research and what to do in the NBA, and no better time than now, because obviously the playoffs are starting within the next week, all right? So I feel like we're really honing in on the NBA, especially, with a play like this, Brook Lopez over points. I told you guys he was going to make a lot of threes, at least take a lot of threes. He took 11 threes, and again, 5 from 11 from the line. And Scotty Barnes under hits his points assists, hits his points rebounds, and hits his PRA. Everything went under for Scotty Barnes there, so another amazing call. Before I get into some of the misses and stuff, I do want to say this is going to be the last day that I'm doing this promo. This is going to end midnight on Saturday, all right? So midnight tonight. This is the last day that I'm doing this, guys. 2026 full VIP access for $200, all right? This is the best promo that I'm going to run all year. I'm telling you guys this right now. But at the beginning of football season, which is like, 4 months away or something like that, this pass, just the season pass, so just the pass going from like the preseason of football all the way to the Super Bowl, is probably going to be $300 to $400, all right? So you're getting not only my entire football season up until obviously the end of December, but you're getting all of my plays throughout, the spring, throughout the summer, throughout the football season, throughout college NFL, throughout WNBA season, throughout Canadian football season, which goes over the summer. And do not sleep on Canadian football season. Honestly, that's a big time for us. There's like 10 games a week on Canadian football, so it's kind of like a mini NFL season. And I know that sounds like a joke, but I'm telling you guys, we cash a lot on Canadian football season when that does start. And then obviously all the eSports plays, guys. Again, $200 VIP access 2026. I had a lot of you guys lock this in. I remade the code Clark right here. So code Clark, get access into the 2026 season, guys. All VIP access for that, no questions asked. If you want to finance it, there are plans with Klarna, with Afterpay. Obviously, you're going to have to, kind of go through that and qualify and stuff, but it is 12 payments. You can get it as little down as $18 a month, all right? And again, I don't really recommend people to finance their stuff, but with this, you can make money as you go, all right? So as long as you're making more than $18 a month, you're going to be able to pay this off, obviously, and then you're going to be able to win long term and go ahead and finance that. Now, one thing that I do want to say also is, if you look at yesterday, we literally cashed 2 of these, all right? So 2 of these yesterday, both of these were 9Xs, and now we go back again, cash another one of these. Hopefully we can cash this one overnight. I'll be crossing my fingers for this. We also cashed on Sleeper, which is another app that I talk quite a lot about. They discounted Gen.G down to 21.5. He goes ahead and gets 35 points, and then we paired that up with a Counter-Strike play. And you will see down here real quick, I promise I'm about to get into the plays, but real quick, 1, 2, 3 plays go 3 out of 4. All right, so I'm not going to complain about it because we did cash a 4 out of 4 when we had a profitable day, so I'm happy about that. But you guys will obviously see on the screen, if you look at these 3 entries, that we PrizePicks got lucky, right? PrizePicks got very lucky today because we very easily could have cashed another one or even another 2 of these, another 2 4-mans today if we just got a little bit luckier. We easily could have cashed this and this or whatever it was, right? This game actually went into overtime, and if this game did not go into overtime, this guy would have went under. So they're lucky that they went into overtime, because if they didn't, we would have cashed. All right, so doing very well, guys. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the picks. If you guys want to see the performance of 2026, you can pause. I did go over this quite a lot yesterday, but I just updated this for today. But we are up 12-13 units on PrizePicks Underdog. I explained this very in detail yesterday. You'll see that it's been a roller coaster of 2026. We've had ups, downs, ups. So I do explain that in yesterday's video, so I'm not going to explain it today. Sleeper's been doing very well, Better's been doing very well, and ONYX and REBET have also been doing very well. Every app that I've been betting on, you'll see all the little icons here. You can actually sign up with my link. If you do want to text me, my number is on the screen. Let me actually flash my number up real quick, guys. My number's right here. It's going to be 512-270-0440. You can sign up for any of these apps. And get 1 to 2 months free of the VIP for signing up for those. And every single app that you see right here on the screen, we are profitable in so far in 2026, all right? So we've profited on every single app that I always talk about, and we're going to continue doing that. If you want to see over the past 2 years, 2024, 2025, here's what that looks like. We've gone up over 900 units in the past 2 years, okay? Last thing, sign Tyrese Maxey jersey. You guys know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe on these videos. If you like, comment every single day of April, you'll have an additional raffle ticket to win every single day, and get that signed jersey, and like and comment who you think is going to win the NBA Finals. But you can also just comment anything you want, okay? Now, we don't have NBA today, which is interesting, and I kind of like it low-key, because I'm able to give out a 3-man that's going to be full eSports, all right? And it's actually going to be a play that I would honestly send out to my VIP, and it's a play that I kind of often would send out to my VIP. It's going to be a 3-man in League of Legends, so I'm excited about that pick. But first, we got to deal with PGA, all right? So we've honestly been doing some really good calls on the PGA. If I go back to some of these wins and some of these losses, you will see this play right here. We actually took a 2-man in PGA, and these guys very, very easily went under their lines here. So we bet on Fitzpatrick and we bet on Cameron Young, and these guys easily hit their line. And then if we go back to a day before that, you'll see that we took Jason Day and we took William Clark, and both of these guys also went over, all right? So very good calls in the PGA so far in the tournament. And let's go ahead and make it another good call, all right? So first pick is Scotty Scheffler to go over 0.5 birdies or better matchup, and I'm going to get into what this means, and then the second play is going to be Cameron Young to go under 4.5 birdies. All right, so this one's pretty easy and self-explanatory, guys. We pretty much just need Cameron Young to go under 5 birdies, so as long as he does not get 5 birdies, which is a lot, guys. Think about that. You have to birdie 5 out of 18 holes, all right? So that's almost birdieing like a third of the holes that you're playing. So I think this is way too high for him. I think the right line should be about 4. The thing about golf lines, guys, is 1 or 0.5 or like 0.5 of a stroke is a huge difference. All right, because the difference between them getting like 71 strokes and 72 strokes is a huge difference. Okay, but get this at 4.5. If it's at 4, it's still takeable, but it's really just not as good, right? At 4.5, the difference between 4.5 and 4 is huge, all right? So get this at 4.5. This is starting around noon tomorrow, so you're going to have to get this in pretty, early-ish in the morning. I don't know. And then Scotty Scheffler is starting at about 11:30, so these guys are kind of starting close to each other. But this is birdies or better matchup, which is one of my favorite things to actually bet on golf. We're taking Xander Schauffele versus Scotty Scheffler, and we're taking Scotty to go over birdies on him, okay? So what this means, I had a question about this, is pretty much what we're going for here is, let's say Xander gets like 3 birdies tomorrow. Then we would need Scotty to get 4 birdies, okay? That would mean that's a hit because he gets 1 birdie higher than Xander. Now, if Xander gets only 1 birdie tomorrow and Scotty gets 2 birdies, this would also be a hit. If Xander gets 4 birdies and Scotty gets 4 birdies, then this would be a miss because they would tie, and this would mean that Scotty does not get more birdies than Xander. So we pretty much just need Scotty to get more birdies than Xander, and if that does happen, then we're in the green and we are able to go ahead and cash this, okay? Now, how am I finding, and why do I like this pick so much, all right? The reason why I like this pick, guys, is if you look on a site like Underdog, you can find these lines on Underdog, on FanDuel, on DraftKings. The lines are out there for golf, all right? So, make that known. Look at other books. These other books, even though they're not your friend because they can be predatory and stuff, but they're your friend in looking at their lines, right? You got to treat all these books like Bovada and like Underdog like experts and be like, what do you think? Here's what the line is on PrizePicks. What do you think, Underdog? How are you setting the line? So you'll see on Scotty right now, they're setting his line at 4.5, but they're actually giving you a heavy reduced payout, all right? They're only giving you a 0.8x on it, which means Underdog thinks that he is going to go over rather than under this line because they are not giving as good of a payout on this than not, if that kind of makes sense, right? Because they're reducing your payout. So this is pretty much like a green goblin. You can think about this in PrizePicks terms as a green goblin. And if you look at Xander, they have his birdies at actually reducing his lower and upping his higher. So this is equivalent to kind of like a red demon, right? So you can also think of this as like Xander has a red demon to go over 4.5. Scotty has a green goblin to go over 4.5, which means Scotty is much higher, much more favored to go maybe getting like 5 birdies or 6 birdies, and Xander is much more likely to maybe get like 4 birdies or 3 birdies, okay? So I think Scotty gets 5 birdies. I think Xander gets 4 birdies. I think that's the most likely scenario. And again, this is not coming from me. This is literally coming from other sports books, Underdog, Bet on like Bovada, DraftKings, like all these other sports books are setting these lines, and I'm just out here rehearsing these lines, all right? So use other books against them. That's kind of a rule of thumb there. So this is going to be the 2-man here, guys, is a 3x. So hopefully you guys can get that down before they go ahead and tee off at like noon tomorrow. And then the second play of the day, which is going to be a 3-man in League of Legends, guys. My favorite pick of the day. So I'm pretty much pairing up my favorite pick of the day, which is right here that I'm starring, with a correlated 2-man in League of Legends, all right? So why is this my favorite pick of the day? Because this team is really bad, all right? So it's Dig versus Lion. Lion is like a top 2 team in the league. There's like 8 teams in the league. Dig is pretty much 8th in the league by far. They are by far the worst team in the league, and then Lion is the 2nd team in the league. This should be a very, very easy 2-0 for Lion, all right? So we have Dig versus Lion. Dig is heavily not favored, so they're the worst team in the league. They play like the worst team in the league, and they're probably going to lose both games. With them losing both games, they're going to go under their lines, and they're probably going to only get like maybe 1 to 2 kills in each game that they lose, and they should only get like 5 or 6 kills if they do go ahead and get 2-0'd like I expect them to do, because they are that bad of a team, right? My favorite pick, by the way, this should be like 9.5 right now, okay? That is what I think the fair value of this line is. There's obviously a chance that Dig does pull a game out of a hat and does win, but I still think 10.5 way too high. This line should be 9.5, and by game time, I'm expecting to see that this bump down to 9.5, okay? We'll check, right? I'll check. This game's happening at like 6 p.m. my time tomorrow, so I'll check and see if it bumps down. I can almost guarantee that it does. And then the second part of this is going to be League of Legends correlation, which, I don't know if I have to talk about it, but I will. Extremely correlated sport, guys. You'll see, in a lot of these wins and losses that we have League of Legends hitting together, right? So 2 unders hit together, 2 overs hit together. We have 2 overs hit together down here. If we go back to yesterday, we have a League of Legends play that actually cashed us out right here, right? So this guy gets 16 kills when his line was 4.5. This guy gets 10 kills when his line was 8.5. Why? Because they go 2-0 and they win both games. So they played an amazing game, and that's why they ended up winning these games. That's why they ended up going over their lines. So if a team wins, they go over. If a team loses, they go way under. And I'm thinking that this team, this SR team, is going to actually get 2-0'd as well. Now, SR is not as bad of a team as Dig, but SR, their team named Shopify Rebellion, they are also not as good of a team as Team Liquid, and I do think Team Liquid goes ahead 2-0s them. Why do I think that? Well, if you look at the past matchup, guys, we have Team Liquid versus Shopify Rebellion in February, and if you look at Shopify Rebellion, we are literally betting on these guys. We're betting on Bovie under, and we're betting on Zinni under. Zinni got 0 kills in the first map, Bovey got 1 kill in the first map, right? So think about a professional esports player sits down to play a game with his team, and they end up getting 3 kills in total as a team, and the other team gets 17. So that's how much they got dominated. And then you go to the second game, it's more of the same, guys. It was 11-5, 5 kills on Shopify Rebellion. Zinni gets 2 kills, Bovey gets 1 kill. So you'll see that they both easily go under this line the last game that they played. By the way, I always look at an app like PickFinder. It's my favorite app to be betting on lines like this, and it's my favorite research search tool is what I'll say. The reason being is I love in League of Legends esports, I love to be able to sort by wins and losses, all right? So if I sort by Bovey, who we're taking under, by the way, and I look at all the games that he's won both maps, and this is what I'm talking about with League of Legends, guys. When you win, you're going to go way over, all right? So if these are the games that he has won both maps. You'll see that he won both maps against Dig because Dig is really bad, all right? They won another 2 maps against Dig. Dig's that bad. They win very often. All right, Team Liquid way back in the middle of 2025, they did win 2 games, right? But the point here is that when he wins both games, he goes way over this line, which is expected in League of Legends. When he loses both games, he goes under this line a lot of times. So this is amazing to see. This is exactly what we want to see. You could look across all League of Legends players in literally the world, and when they lose both games, they're most of the time going under their line. When they win both games, they're most of the time going over their line. And that's why it's so correlated, because when a team loses, everyone's going under. When a team wins, everyone's going over. Now, I talked to the founder of PickFinder the other day, and they actually gave me a link to get you guys 10% off of PickFinder. So that is going to be down in the description as well. I get a little bit of kickback from it too, so help me out. But I'm telling you guys, PickFinder, great app. They have a ton of features like prop history and stuff, which I really like to look at, especially comparing the lines of other players. And I've used other apps, similar apps. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. Other apps that have these like past 10 games. And I've paid $40, $45 a month for them. PickFinder, $15 a month. Plus you're getting 10% off of that, which is like an extra like $2 off of it or whatever. So it should just be $13 a month for you, which is amazing, all right? It's the cheapest app like this that I've found, and I think it's the best one as well, because also it has everything, right? It has League of Legends, it has Dota, it has Counter-Strike, Valorant, Call of Duty, which is not going on right now, and then it obviously has your traditional sports, MLB, NBA, and stuff like that, tennis, and all that, right? Very easy to use. I highly recommend it. So that's a shout out there for PickFinder. I appreciate you guys for watching. The feedback and the energy and all the comments and everything like that. I've been reading all of them. They've been so amazing. I appreciate you guys for sticking by me. You guys know it can get rough sometimes. That's how sports betting is. We're super locked in right now, and let's keep this streak going. I want to end April up 100 units. I want to make it a 100-unit month. We're on path for it, and let's keep churning those units. Let's keep churning those 4-mans, those 3-mans. I appreciate you guys. I read all these comments, and they help me out so much get through some of the bad times we have, and you guys stuck with me. If you watch these videos every day, I truly appreciate you. You guys are like my absolute family members. I can't tell you this enough. And you guys know where to find me. My number's on the screen. You can sign up for any of the apps I always talk about, whether that's Underdog, whether that's Kalshi, Better, REBET, ONYX, Sleeper, all these apps you guys can sign up for. If you don't have one, I recommend getting them. And if you don't have them, you'll get a month or 2 of kickback, and you'll get a month free or 2 of the VIP from me. And just text me, and I'll get you guys set up with that, all right? I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.